Okay, today we're going to continue our work with angles, and we're going to talk about vertical angles, aka opposite angles. Vertical or opposite angles are congruent to each other. The openings across from each other have the same angle measure. So in this drawing, angle 1 and angle 3, which I'm going to mark with purple, that opening and that opening are the same side. Angle 2 and angle 4, those openings are the same size. They have the same measure. So if you were told that angle 3 was, let's say, a 30-degree angle, means angle 1 is also a 30-degree angle. If angle 2 is a 150-degree angle, then angle 4 must also be a 150-degree angle. And the interesting thing about this is it really makes sense, especially when you consider what we did yesterday, in that all of these straight lines, and I'll draw a couple of them here, no matter which way you're looking at splitting up these angles, these two angles will add up to 180. These two angles will add up to 180. The 30 and the 150 will add up to 180. Angle 2 and 3 will add up to 180. So vertical angles are congruent to each other. They are equal. The angles directly across from each other have the same measure. So, same kind of diagram here. If we say that angle 2 is 140 degrees, then angle 4 must also be 140 degrees because they are congruent to each other. If we tell you that angle 1 is worth 40, then angle 3 is also worth 40. And that relationship there is important because no matter how you look at this, we have supplementary angles. We have a straight angle here. 40 and 140 is 180. 40 and 140 is 180. No matter how you look at it, we have supplementary angles. Opposite angles are always congruent to each other. They are equal. So now we're going to take a look at one where we have variables here. So we have two variables. We have n and we have x, and we can solve these in either order. So if we wanted to solve for n, what I recognize here is that these two angles are across from each other. They're opposite angles, and opposite angles are congruent or equal. So that angle n plus 15 is equal to the other angle, which is 120. Those are the same. If I needed to solve for x, I notice that these two angles are directly across from each other. Opposite angles are equal. So that angle, which right now is 2x minus 10, that is the exact same as our 60-degree. Now, in order to find those variables, what they're worth, all we have to do is solve these simple equations. Here we take 15 away from both sides and find that n is 105. Here it's a two-step equation. We'd add 10 to each side, 2x equals 70, and divide, and we get x equals 35. So because we know that these angles are opposite each other, which means they're equal, we can set equations up to determine the values of those variables.